Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and the day is upon us. No Man's Sky is finally available on the PC. It's officially released over on Steam. Unfortunately, actually, let's start by saying we're gonna do a couple things today, guys. We're gonna talk briefly about the No Man's Sky PC port, which is an absolute disaster. We're also gonna play some No Man's Sky. We're gonna check out the starting planet that I'm on for my PC fresh start, and we'll probably play a little bit more of the game. And also, I'm gonna talk about what you guys can expect moving into next week from me regarding No Man's Sky, because of course this isn't just a No Man's Sky channel. I play plenty of other games. We definitely have dedicated this week to No Man's Sky, but we'll be shifting back into that variety on content. We'll be playing No Man's Sky, we'll be playing Rainbow Six Siege, and there's all these other wonderful games that are gonna be coming out in the next couple months. But let's start with that whole PC port part. The game runs okay for me. I didn't really expect it to run amazing for me. I didn't expect to be able to run it on the highest settings because I am running an R9 380X 3GB GPU that's a bit old at this point in time. I think it just kind of fits above the minimum requirements for GPU power. But I definitely expected to be able to run it better than this. A lot of people having some pretty severe performance issues. I haven't really been able to get anything above 50 FPS, even on medium settings with VSync and anti-aliasing and anisotropic filtering completely off. People have it way worse than me. Total Biscuit had a severely bad experience with the game when he tried to stream it. His port report will be out soon. If you're looking for more by-the-numbers type port reports, you're going to want to look elsewhere. I'm just letting you guys know that there's an insane amount of people who cannot play the game because it runs so poorly for them. Unfortunately, it's just not a really well-optimized port. That's all that can be said about it. Now, I'm not in the camp who's going to sit there and claim that Hello Games and Sean Murray are just out to make money. I strongly believe that they're a group of video game developers. They're 10 tiny people, you know, in this tiny indie studio trying to release a game on multiple platforms. I think they bit off more than they can chew. I always said I thought that the smarter decision for such a small team would have been to release on PlayStation 4 and then release on PC at a later unspecified date. So they could have relaunched the game 4 months from now, and maybe it would be in great state, and they wouldn't have to worry about all these performance issues. People wouldn't have to worry about the game dipping every time they go into a slightly, populated planet. For me, this planet looks great. You guys are probably thinking the frame rate's fantastic right now. Yeah, because there's nothing on this damn planet. It's barren. That's my starting planet. This barren, desolate death planet. So that sucks. It does, and I'm not here to make excuses for them. I'm just somebody who likes to recognize the developer, especially when they're actually human beings and not just some corporation. This isn't, some big AAA publisher just looking to steal your money, and I usually don't fall into that line of sight anyways. You got to make money. There's business things being implemented. It just sucks. It sucks for Hello Games. I think, I don't think for 1 second they wanted to release a crappy game. And I do strongly believe that up until the very last second, they were there trying to do what they could to make this game run as best as they could on PC. And, PC is one of the most difficult things to optimize for. It's not like console where you're optimizing for a PlayStation 4 and then the next person has a PlayStation 4 and the next person has a PlayStation 4 and you're all good to go. This is PC. There's like 1,100 million different configurations of PCs that you have to compensate for, and that's not an easy thing to do as a small development team. I think they really were in a bit over their heads, and the end result was a very poorly optimized product that has over 3,000 negative reviews on Steam right now. Do I think they can come back from that? Yeah. The reality is, in my experience, a lot of the games that have had really poor launches on Steam and have seen massive negative reviews, have been able to win back the consumer simply by proving that they care about the product and that they are going to work to improve it to make things right. So that's all Hello Games can do at this point. They can't look at the numbers. They can't look at how negative things look right now. They need to recognize that people have bought their game. Yes, people may be refunding it. I think a lot of people are refunding it. What can we do to keep the people on board who haven't refunded it? And what can we do to get those people to repurchase the game maybe now at a later date? Well, you need to fix the product. You need to optimize it. Unfortunately, a lot of the damage has been done, but I still think that they can push forward and just prove to people that this is a product they're willing to work on. And I strongly believe that that is the studio that they are. I don't think they're here for 1 second to take your money and run. I think they've built something that they really love. You guys know I speak very highly of No Man's Sky. I think it's an incredible experience. I've played it to death on the PlayStation 4, over 20 hours at this point, and I'm more than willing to put in another 20 on the PC. That's why I was so excited to start off here. You know, I think it's something that undeniably does procedural generation in a big way. You can't deny that. You can try and talk negative all day and say there's not enough variety, but if you really look at what's here, the procedural generation system they've designed is leaps and bounds above anything we've had before, and this can only be a stepping stone moving forward. And I would love to see this technology used by other studios. A mixture of this and a smaller scale plus handcrafted content, to me, could create some amazing environments. When I look at, when you look at Destiny, and you just wish that those play spaces were a little bit bigger, had a little bit more beauty and exploration to them. I look at the planets in No Man's Sky and I say to myself, man, that would be a good fit. So I do think they've created something special here. I will not deny that ever. I just hope that they can get back on board and fix the product. And let's leave it at that. That's all I really have to say about it. Like I said, if you guys want more by-the-numbers things, or if you'd like to hear somebody speak even more negatively of the team at Hello Games, and really, call them out for being lying sons of beaches, well, then you're going to have to go somewhere else, because that's just not how I do things. We're going to explore this planet a little bit. I haven't actually looked at the name of this planet yet. I have gone to another planet. I do believe we're on Gajoe 9, WK858, which has non-existent fauna and is lacking flora. It is average in sentinels and very balmy. This looks like someplace like Mothra would live. I mean, it's terrible. I love the rock formations in this place, though. I've got some small puddles. There's bits and pieces of water here. But, what's interesting is I feel like this place has more water than some of the planets I've been on that really support life. So maybe it's just the lack of vegetation that is preventing life from being supported. A lot of ore, though. A lot of these dead planets seem to have a lot of raw resources in terms of copper or gold, or you can see iridium right there. But I really quite like the way these giant ridges kind of come up through the mountain, and they have this, like, mossy green on them. It's a cool planet, considering just how barren it actually looks. Let's head out of space, though, and kind of see what else is in the area here. I'm not willing to lock myself down to this planet yet. We've got a couple more planets we can check out before I decide which one's going to be the first planet that I really genuinely explore. And while we do that, I did want to talk a little bit with you guys about what we're going to do moving forward this week. As I said, this is a variety channel. It always has been. I didn't plan on just playing No Man's Sky for a month and a half straight. I've gotten a reasonable amount of time on it, and I've got a lot of video ideas I want to share with you guys now that we're kind of past the spoiler stage for a lot of you. So there's going to be cool video ideas. I think I've got some role-playing stuff I want to try out, some fun experimental type ideas, and also pretty hefty discussion-based stuff. We're going to talk a lot about what I want to see No Man's Sky do moving forward to improve upon the experience, ways in which I think they can add to the experience. We already know about freighters and base building, but I think there are bigger steps that can be taken to really evolve No Man's Sky into something even more powerful than it currently is. Like, take those procedural generation elements. How can we highlight that? How can we introduce more gameplay into it? How can we improve upon the gameplay that already exists? I think that they need to take advantage of that as a studio. Obviously, fix the problems with the game first and foremost. But once they're done with that, once they've got a stable game on PS4 and on the PC, sorry, man, like, their imagination is their only limitation. I'd love to see first-person combat get more in-depth, optional, of course. I'd love to see dogfighting be taken more seriously, because those are things where the game is really kind of shallow. It's not so deep there. The exploration factor is big in this game. And like I said, if you can appreciate the environments that have been generated, which not everyone's going to, then you'll get a lot of the game. But I think there's ways for them to bring a bigger audience to the game. It's just a matter of whether or not they want to do that. So let's go ahead and enter Pulse Drive. We'll head over to Rolavanog Otome and see what's on this planet. It looks like another rocky planet. As I've mentioned in the past with my PlayStation 4 gameplay, a lot of the planets do seem to kind of mesh when you're inside of a certain system. Occasionally, it doesn't always seem to be the case. I've had systems where there was 3 completely different planets, as my last video highlighted. For those of you guys who are maybe just watching this video because the PC, title brought you here, I do have a bunch of coverage for No Man's Sky for the PlayStation 4, so if you're looking to just find out more about the game, if you're really looking to get past the PC issues and find out what can I expect from this game when it does run right, I'll have an annotation. Just click that little I circle button up in the right corner. That'll take you to my full No Man's Sky playlist. You can check it out and see everything that I have to say about the game. Like I said, I think there's a great game here. It just sucks that on PC it's being relatively overshadowed by some really incredibly bad performance across a huge amount of users. This is worse than Skyrim. This is like Arkham Knight type stuff, guys. It's really bad. Okay, as you can see, frame rate dropping massively as we're trying to do some atmospheric entry here. haven't really seen too many improvements over the PlayStation 4 version either, which is probably the most disappointing thing. I mean, like I said, I can't really run it at a high setup. That is a Red Sea. But at least on the PS4, you know, steady frame rate. It was always like 30. It felt locked. I had very few frame drops on the PlayStation 4. Maybe 1 or 2 moments where I can actually remember the frame rate dropping on the PlayStation 4. Whereas, you know, the PC, it's rough. It really is, guys. Let's go ahead and land up here. So hopefully you were someone who was intelligent enough to not pre-order. Or maybe you pre-ordered and you're well aware of the risks. But there are a lot of people on the Steam forums doing the reviews who pre-ordered and now are freaking out. It's like, stop pre-ordering video games. You know, there's people like myself and Total Biscuit does port reports and, you know, all these other YouTubers, all these other news outlets who will genuinely let you know how the game runs. You know, so don't drop the cash, man, and then have to wait for a refund. You could have saved yourself a lot of trouble. This planet's running all right. The game, like I said, the performance for me isn't atrocious, but I know it's really bad for a large amount of other people. This is really playable for me, especially considering what my GPU is. But, you know, the fact is, just because I don't have some awful disease doesn't mean there's like 1,000 other people that you know, don't have that disease. The performance problems definitely exist. One of the things that I'm really liking about the PlayStation, or about the PC version, is that I was able to rebind my keys even on my controller. So whether you're playing mouse and keyboard or on the controller, you can rebind your keys. I'd like to see that get added to the PlayStation 4 eventually. This is a pretty wicked cool planet, though. We've got this red water, or at least the surface underneath the water seems to be red, which is giving across a reflection. Almost all the water that I've discovered in the game thus far has remained clear. I think that's just kind of a design decision by them. It's pretty cool stuff down here, though. Let's get some scans going on. Not a bad planet, though. I think this, out of the 3 planets that are here, that one that we were on, there's another planet that I checked out that was just full of terrible poison rain. This is probably the one I'm going to check out, and it's got a big old pile of aluminum. Oh, I think we hit 60 FPS for a second, probably because we're looking at a rock. I'm ready though, guys. I'm still excited. Like I said, I'm happy the game runs reasonably well for me. I know that's selfish, but I just was looking forward to making content on PC and knowing that the game runs well enough that I can do that and put out the videos and have the performance be all right. You know, there's nothing worse as a YouTuber. Like, I don't want to play a game and make videos if I'm going to get sub 30 FPS frame rates consistently. Like, I didn't play Arma or DayZ on my channel for years because my PC simply couldn't handle that engine. It's playable. There's no doubt about that. It's not as consistent as in the PS4, but it's playable for me. And hopefully, like I said, Hello Games needs to get out there and just make the changes they need to make to get that PC performance where it is. I think they can make a comeback. I think people love to see a developer support the product that they've put out there, and I think that's the best way they can prove to people that, hey, we care about this game, we care about the community that's excited to play it, and we want to do what we need to do to make it right. So there you have it, guys. This is a beautiful planet, actually. In a weird way. I don't know. It's kind of dreary, but I like it. I really do. This reddish water just kind of sets it up for me. It's like a desert, a water desert. I mean, look at all these like cactus type things growing right on the edge of the water. It's so cool. Like if the desert had water in it, this is totally what it would look like. So this was Rolavong Navog. So moistureless, actually. The weather anyways, but we do have water in the surface. Generous flora, there is fauna here somewhere, and the sentinels are regular. We'll probably rename a couple of those. It's weird only having like 3 planets. I had like 25 on my PS4, so I'm going to harvest the rest of this aluminum because it's worth a lot of money. Small pro tip, if you're trying to make money early on and you find an aluminum node, harvest it up, because the Vy'keen, if you find them, will pay good cash for it. In general, it's a pretty valuable resource that is not found on a lot of planets. Let me know what your No Man's Sky PC launch day has been like for you guys. You know, if you're unfortunate it's out enough to have really bad performance, which the chances of that are pretty good. Like I said, it's a really large number of people having issues. That sucks. Let me know what your decision is. You know, you're going to hold on to the game and just wait for things to get fixed? Have you issued a refund? There's a great game there underneath all those performance issues. Let me tell you that. And I do think it's worth your $60, considering the 20 hours I've gotten out of my PS4 save. I think it's worth every penny. I do think there's a lot to be said about No Man's Sky and its procedural generation. It just sucks that it's being so overshadowed by this really rough launch, and not at all making excuses for Hello Games. They need to get it together, and, you know, I know they're already clamped down. 10-person team, probably no sleep, but it looks like it's going to be another couple days of no sleep until they can set things straight with the PC build. That's going to do it for me, guys. I will see you next Monday for more No Man's Sky and other gaming goodness right here on the channel. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.